everything which we started on day one, probably by the time we've launched the project, we were already confident that it's going to succeed. It's equally important for us to consider that it's our product first. Then the people come and buy. And we are silently building entrepreneurs within also. I want my best of the best people to maybe post their job to start something by themselves. I had to know what the basics were for the client,
Right.
in the best interest of the client.
Welcome back to another episode of Embrace Excellence. I am Anand Pade and I'm the National Director for Corporate Connections India. And I have someone very special with me who is a first-gen entrepreneur. And it gives me great pleasure in introducing Radhey Daggumalla from Radhe Constructions. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
You were not an entrepreneur. You had some other plans.
Right.
You did your engineering and then you went on to do your MBA.
Right.
But then you came back and you wanted to get into business.
Right.
Why?
See, right from the day go, after my MBA, I think and even during my MBA days, then is when I had the seed of doing business by myself. Because I've done my MBA in Institute of Management Technology in Hyderabad. So they've incubated these ideas right from day one, where guys get passionate about doing business, contribute to the economy by themselves. I think somewhere down the line, I've had a wonderful group of professors around, and also the group with the students group also, they were very friendly. They were all about experienced. And I think that led us to, start by ourselves, because working for somebody or doing a job for something else was not making sense anymore after MBA.
There were opportunities for you to get into any business that you wanted, but you selected something which is probably one of the toughest businesses to get into, which is around real estate and constructions. And I say tough because the environment right now is like that. There is an understanding that there's far more supply than demand. But construction was something that you easily could get into, and we know what Radhe is doing today. Do you want to talk to us a little bit around why construction and probably a little bit around how you got into this field?
We were considering numerous fields to start off business, but my internship was with Aparna. My main project was with Aparna again. So then I thought there is some calling, because I've gained a lot of market knowledge when I was working with a project for Aparna Constructions in Kompally. I had managed to gather good knowledge on the field, and I also felt there was a big gap, because if you see the top three, they are way away from what the others are doing. You only know 2 or 3 names back in 2014 when we started.
Right.
You hardly knew 2 to 3 names.
Right.
Which are actually performing in the market.
Right.
Then we thought Hyderabad as a market has good opportunity to start off new, and we had good plans. Again, that guidance of having a USP, and then our standard operating processes, we had good exposure. We felt real estate needed that at that point, and then it actually worked out, because our research plan also, if you see, was aptly made for the 3 Ps: the price, the location, and the marketing strategy we've done has helped us a lot. So the real estate as it is was its low when we started.
Exactly, yeah. So that was what I was asking.
Yeah.
Even the time that you entered the market with your first project, and which wasn't a small project.
Yeah.
Your first villa project that you did was close to what, 20 acres?
Yeah, it's about 12.5 acres.
12.5 acres.
12.5 acres. No, when we started, we thought, why not do it with a bang? We never wanted to experiment. We thought whether it happens, doesn't happen, it all depends on how we approach towards business. But our heart was there. We knew we had proper ideology behind doing business. So we knew somewhere down the line the success would be there. Our numbers suggested we are doing well. Everything which we started on day one, probably by the time we've launched the project, we were already confident that it's going to succeed, because the numbers were very positive.
And this was started in what year?
This is about 2016.
Okay.
Though the land acquisition happened between 2014 and 16,
Okay.
our real permissions came in August 2016.
Were you scared at any point getting into this? Because it is a big project.
No, we were intimidated by the kind of offers we had by that time, because we've silently launched it. Nobody really realized something like this will cook up in an area called Usman Nagar where there was no road approach.
Right.
So once we've laid the roads, once we got the good marketing page, we started receiving, counter quotes from different builders saying we'd want to take over the project. That led us to have, have more confidence on dealing with it. Right on, I remember probably the third or fourth month into the market, we've had an exit deal from one of the builders. They said you can pick up some X profit percentage.
Were you tempted at any point to?
No. That made us more, gave an affirmation that we can do well. We've never thought we'll get out of it, because even in our second project, we had bumper deals to get out in 2020, soon after 2020.
Right.
But then, see, the motive of starting the company is to do something for a long term. It's not about money here.
Right.
Though the end result is money, we wanted to create an ecosystem where it lasts long. It's the first generation, right? For our family, it's a very big thing.
Right.
So we wanted to, continue for a while so the next generations can pick up.
So there's a lot I wanted to talk about in terms of, even if you look at your tagline, right?
Yeah.
You are, one of your USPs is around creating and respecting someone's sentiments. Now that could be trust, that could be a new family's first home. I think that is something that you are very deeply invested into. Do you want to talk a little bit around why these values are so important for a brand, or in fact, why these values are the values that you selected when you were building your business?
Yeah, thank you for the question, because see, the reason we got into the market again, into real estate, was because of the lack of transparency, knowledge. Guys had minimum knowledge about what goes into constructing a house, which actually is their platform to live for the next 20-25 years at least.
Correct.
So I think, with exposure with good brands, again, I don't want to quote the names, but guys said, boss, you're getting early into business. Don't think that you're building your own house. It's 200 houses for customers. I said, that's the same reason I have 200 houses myself first, then I'll sell them.
Right.
So I think this sentiment has worked out to the clients. It's equally important for us to consider that it's our product first. Right. Then the people come and buy. So if we sit in an average customer's chair, if we don't like it, I am sure the customers won't like it. And this company, I would say, over the last decade has gathered customers' interest and requirement properly. If at all anything, what comes natural to us is the interest and the requirement in the market. They touch anybody in our office, they'll start talking about what is the future project, where is the demand lying. That's the kind of environment we have created among the team. Right. And I think right from the office boy till the top till us, everybody knows how to make a good product. And we are silently building entrepreneurs within also. I want my best of the best people to maybe post their job to start something by themselves and give them a platform to learn things.
Brilliant. Has anything like that has happened?
Yeah. The couple of guys who started off with us are now, they chose interiors as their business. We are giving them good business to them. There's one guy who's gotten into better opportunity in selling. So I think there are guys making win, and most of the employees which we've let off, or majority of the reasons would be they're getting better opportunities from big brands. So I generally don't tend to stop anybody going to a bigger company, right, unless they get a very bad deal and good pay. Right. And just say this is just about pay, nothing else. But if they're going to a good brand, we take pride in it.
You got into a business where it was the first time for you as well.
Yep.
And for any entrepreneur, one of the biggest strength that they have is the support team that they have with them. Now, were you lucky the first time that you hired someone? Because whatever you're trying to do today, whatever you're building today is phenomenal. And that is only possible with someone who has a very clear vision, but also with a team who can execute that vision. Do you want to talk to us a little bit around what efforts it took in building a team like that?
Yeah, see, couple of things. The team we picked up, with the startup brand, I'll tell you the difficulties. And this is the dark side of the business, which nobody really, I don't know, unless you experience, you don't get to see. You don't have a brand, you cannot bring or motivate a very experienced guy to take on, come do the job for us. This is the first problem. Even if somebody does, they think we don't know the basics. They can take us for a ride.
Right. Yeah.
So both of them are big challenges. I would say we were not an exception. We also went through the same chain. But then, fortunately for me, unfortunately for them, I had exposure in every platform, every field of it until design to delivery. This is also because of my team. I had a young team. Wherever the shortfalls were, I was in the picture, and I had to know what the basics were for the client,
Right.
in the best interest of the client. And then in the process, 3 years is a long time, isn't it? Once we deliver a project, it's as good as doing 100 projects.
Right.
So especially in villas, every foundation is a new story. At least in high rise, people assume high rises are tough. High rise is easy. Your foundation is only done once.
Right.
Once it's done, it's just the floors. For villa, it is every new villa is a new foundation, and then you will have to take care of basics everywhere.
Right.
So I think via my team, they've gained knowledge from me, I've gained knowledge from them, and together today we are with a very strong team which understands every aspect of construction, every aspect of delivery. And nevertheless, the sentiments of the customer we take into the account, keep them as transparent as possible, and they don't fear anything.
Right.
Because any day you ask for progress, any day you ask for quality aspects, they have an answer.
Right.
So this is how we built a team. We've been filtering guys. The guys who are left out are I would say they'll be topmost in the market. You name any project, any company, I think they'll be leading.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there's way too much way too much supply in the market today and less demand?
Yes, one side of it is true because it is true because the supply has not happened at one go. Or
Right.
the projects you are seeing today have been ideated 2-3 years ago. Because of COVID, because of the too many policy changes, they're all coming out at once. But then what is important today for the sale velocity, for the absorption, guys are ready.
Right.
You just have to give them a meaningful proposition, meaningful deal.
Right.
You can't just have a similar product lined up in 5 or 6 places. That's where, or in the same zone, you can't have similar products. That's where the brand comes into perspective. A good brand sells well, a upcoming brand will struggle. A bad reputed brand will never make it to the point. So I think the supply is still under control if you ask me. It looks more on the west side. You take an average of Hyderabad, I think we are still lagging according to where it should have been. With the kind of push we got after COVID,
Right.
we should have been at least 10 to 12 steps ahead of what we are today. I think we are not worried once the project is planned properly.
Okay. And where is the city growing? Which side?
Obviously, the west is the champion here. Now, south has been doing well because of the measures taken by the new government. And then east also has tried, marginally had some attention with the previous government, but it's still doing well. North also has been a consistent market, but when there is a bad period, north and east have been suffering. West is the performing one. South, I think, is a decent minimum guarantee business area, but you don't get as much profits as you have as much in west side.
So for a new family that's looking at picking up a first home, and any day investing towards the western part of the city would make sense.
Yeah. I think you can throw a stone anywhere on the west side. You'll still be comfortable. It'll be a meaningful proposition. It's as blind as throwing a stone into the air, because west is performing well. And it will come down to the knowledge of the builder. As in, you will have to assess where we are buying properly, what their track record has been, how their finances are. I've been telling in multiple zones. Try to assess what the mindset and attitude of the builder is.
Yep.
And then everybody will make a meaningful investment.
What sort of inventory is Radhe Construction sitting on today? What are the projects that they're working on?
So I think we have one high-rise project upcoming. There's one running high-rise project and one villa project with the bag and deliveries basically. So I think together we may be holding about 18 lakh SFT for sale. The upcoming project is about 50 lakh SFT. That's a big one. So, and we have good strategies in plan. And again, with the new project, we're bringing Mumbai culture to Hyderabad. I think Hyderabad is due to see some kind of new amenities, new elevations. Tired of the same boxy structures. And with our new project, we will introduce new phase of architecture and structures. We are taking a bit of risk by spending more, but the location we are coming up deserves it.
So this is what's interesting for me when I was going through material around Radhe Constructions. That you actually mean when you say you have an USP for a product, you actually have a USP for that particular project.
Correct.
Can you talk to us a little bit around the USP of villas having their own backyards? Because that is something that I honestly have not heard till.
See, I mean, this idea has all come up with kids and older people in perspective. We are used to having a large parcel of open area in one zone, where the rest of the villas guys have to come down, walk down to that zone to really experience it. So we've then started working on getting small parcels behind houses. Then we've cross-checked with the authorities whether it is possible to us. Though they said the open areas cannot be according to the norms, you will have to do it from your pocket. If the builder opts to do it, we will anyways permit. But we can't agree this as an organized open space area according to the rule. So we said we'll take a hit. We'll take a hit of 7 to 10%, and we'll make it more valuable to the client. And how we will come out is with more sale velocity. Generally, a project takes 36 months to sell. We get out in 12 to 18 months with the full inventory, which assures the execution. Yes, the profitability may be less today, but we start trying to build up a concept. I think maybe another 5 years down the line, we'd want the market to, see or have a pocket to buy villas with backyards only.
Is there anybody else doing this today?
Nobody is able to replicate because of the commercial hit they're taking. Today, whatever land they're getting, example in our Raga project, silently they have about 4 to 5 acres of backyards, which is free of cost to them. So tomorrow, imagine 50 years down the line, they wish to redevelop. Apart from their house, they have 5 acres of shared space for the community. Obviously, it will be a big boost. More than the villa, this will be more valuable, right?
Exactly.
To the association,
So
it will
you're
be valuable.
literally giving them the benefit. They're not just buying the villa, but you're giving them something extra from
Something extra for what they pay. The Hyderabad is always about that. What more we get to the penny we pay. So I think this is how we'd want to pass out. Maybe we still want to make it commercial also at some point. I'm looking for feedback from clients. After Raga, which is about 292 villas, we'll start getting serious feedback. How useful it is. I don't want to be a single-faced, company pushing a USB, just for the sake of it and start charging it. But the feedback, positive feedback and Google reviews and their testimonies will help us commercialize it moving ahead, make money at least about 15 years later from the time we introduced it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Are there trends that you keep a track on in terms of what is happening outside of Hyderabad that you can bring into the city, bring into your business, bring into the projects that you're working on? Are there trends that...
Yeah. We have a whole bunch of team working on international trends and also which can be bought to Indian conditions, make it available for clients. Also, see the cost side of it, whether we can make it viable for the clients. We can't make it too costly, nor can we say give it at free of cost and maintain, which is a very costly affair to them.
Right.
So we have a whole bunch of team working on fresh concepts. Myself, I spend, I think, at least 2 or 3 times in a year we go on special tours to explore architecture only.
Right.
So that's where we go as a team. We just walk down miles together just to see, identify ahead, plan ahead, go check the architectures, get in touch with the consultants or the experts who've done it, try to get them to Indian conditions. Like for the new project, the landscape architect is from Singapore. He's done a project in Bangkok.
So the USP for that project
will be landscape.
Will be landscape.
He's done multiple projects in across the world, but in Bangkok there's one resort they've built. I particularly like the mixture of tropical landscape and the regular ones, and which is actually the climate here, in the dry climate, which suggests. So we're bringing him on board. It's a risk we are taking again, but then have an Indian consultant, understand what he's giving, and then we'll start executing. So such things we take, have a good taking. And in the first project also, all the inputs are from myself and my team. There is no external architect who's done it. The backyard concept, the villa, I think it's all my internal team only.
No, I think it helps, right? Because the more you the more you enlist the architects or the people in this field, I think thought process also becomes very similar, right? There are people who are executing 10, 15, 20 projects in one shot. Somewhere or the other, there's an overlap of concepts and ideas between all these projects.
Correct.
You're coming in with a fresh mind. You're coming in from a place where you're not dictated by how this is supposed to be. I think that is definitely working in your favor.
Correct. Rightly said, we've silently taken that space niche segment where every project has some good value addition.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a conventional project around that area, and then us, we are the first preference.
There's a lot of talk around value addition.
Value addition.
When does Radhe start making money? When does he start running it like a big time business? When does that happen? Because you seem to be wanting to give back to people. There's a lot of that comes across when I have this conversation.
Yeah, I think we've somewhere believe in giving at least 40% of what we make in terms of value, at least, because we have the age. My average age of the team is about 35, 36. I am about 35. So there is a lot of patience which is available. I mean, for example, in Raga, again, this is mistaken in the market, but we took an initiative. Even before they invest about 50 lakhs into interiors at the time of handover, we've cracked deals with the vendors. Our clients will be earning 10 to 12 lakhs on interiors when against to the conventional builder or a conventional product. So we try to do large deals, pass on the benefit to the clients, which might as well be a business model to us because the other builders are doing it. Right. You include the ACs, lift, fall ceiling light, which is an everyday thing, and then charge about 1,000 rupees per extra, 1,000 rupees per SFT extra, which in our scenario, we are passing it on.
Yeah, you give.
So I think we're giving it back. This is how we'd want to pay back. And at some point, we want to be the first preference for the client, where everything is transparent.
I think I see you getting there very easily because not a lot of people know, but there's a huge CSR angle to what Radhe Constructions does as well.
Yeah.
And I was blown when I got to know about it. Do you want to tell us a little bit around what you do?
Yeah, see, we've always wanted to do from the first project, but we didn't have enough pockets.
Yeah.
So, but then now in Sky, we have the luxury, credit to COVID, I wouldn't say for the effect of it, but the real estate has boomed so much. From the time we started, we've only had 3x, 4x. Our investors made 3x, 4x on in like 24 months.
Right.
So now we said, let's just share it. There are, it's a kid venture home, concept called kid venture home. I said, why we are giving the kids okay. Now I've been observing the kids around the schools. They tend to give more. Generally they tend to share more. They tend to give the poor and needy people more, and they take pride in it. They're taking confidence. I said this community also, about 10 rupees per SFT is what we from the company give it to education and healthcare of kids, of the needy people basically.
So you have a foundation?
Yeah, we have a foundation for it.
Lovely.
And then we're starting to share the revenue which has come through Sky.
Right.
So indirectly we say, we're not saying Radhe Construction is doing it. The clients of Sky are contributing to the society by helping for education and health.
So this is specific to this project, or is...
No, we'd want to carry it because initially it looked like a marketing stunt. I felt very bad when people said, is it a marketing stunt? Then I had posters and all done for it. Then I said, no, let's just not put it anywhere. Let it be a natural thing.
And that's precisely the reason why I wanted to ask you this question, because for those, I know you and I know the kind of stuff that you're doing. And for a lot of people, it might sound like a marketing
stunt. Yeah.
And one, as in the fact that you pulled out all marketing material that you developed around it, and you still continue to do it, should tell anyone who had that thought that it wasn't around marketing at all.
Correct.
But you intend to continue this with every project that you do.
Yes.
Through this foundation.
Yes, we'd want to continue and we'd want to contribute to the greyest of the areas where people are suffering. We have a team identifying problems here. We're not generalizing and saying we'd want to do the bit for the whole society, but we'd want to concentrate on one or two segments of it, try to contribute majority. In terms of sharing, possibly spend some time with those kids. We've done a couple of visits to the NGOs also, and it's a great feeling. Again, we feel, I feel particularly very fortunate to have this environment around. Considering seeing them, we learn a lot.
Correct.
And then that generosity or, kind of sharing will only increase by if you kind of have real-time experience. I want everybody to go and experience it because suddenly we feel very small, or our issues will feel very small when you go there. they are going through a lot of problems.
Can,
Yeah.
what advice would you give an entrepreneur walking in and saying, I'd like to get into construction? Because they see only one side of the business. They see the glamour, they see the money, they see the fame that can come with building a good construction brand. But there's a lot more to it than just that.
Yeah.
And now is it a good time for a young entrepreneur to walk into the room and start a construction business?
Yeah, I think now is the right time if you have the resilience and patience to bear with the market, because we entered in a very bad market.
Exactly.
I've seen Telangana breakup, COVID, demonetization in between, GST in between. We've seen it all. So if you can get through big phases like that, you will stand out. I mean, now again we are seeing a small crunch. It is a very small crunch when compared to the ones we have seen. And it's a 10 years economic cycle, isn't it?
Right.
You get to see a high, you get to see a low. I mean, the next 1 year is going to be even tougher. So getting in now is a good time to understand. You'll get a lot of time. Getting sale isn't easy. Post-COVID, it was just everybody think every second person had a sale. So my money didn't have value, work didn't have value. Now is when people are struggling to execute. So real estate is a very capital intensive job. It is with commitment and it is real time with clients. And it is a lifestyle product of a client, isn't it? They kind of buy for the next 20-25 years to stay for themselves. So for them to stay, and I think it's a very sentimental product for the crowd. Once you mess up there, you are not going to go back to any kind of business. So I think the capital intensive is one highlight, I would say, and the focus. I think it needs 365 days of focus. I mean, what is tough is money is okay, but then to stay focused for 3 years for a project and on the job for 24 hours, that's the toughest part. So be prepared for these two. Then rest, the field is very nice. Really, you have the money. If you manage well, the financial discipline is well. You can enjoy the.
And I think that's a very important point. Financial discipline doesn't come naturally to a lot of people.
Correct.
Especially when you start seeing a lot of money and then you're making those steps and decisions in wanting to make the project better from what it is.
Correct.
You're very tempted in investing slightly more and then also spoiling the numbers in your
Correct. You will end up not having any profit in the book.
Right.
And it's a 3-year cycle. And by the time you realize you're out of the project and then you cannot go back.
Right.
So I think 2 or 3 good points like this will help us enter in a good mindset, and then rest of the things will be as expected.
Are there trends that we should be looking forward to, or would Radhe Constructions be looking at? I know you're doing vertical living spaces. I know you're doing villas. But do you think generally in Hyderabad there would be newer trends that would come into the market, or it would just be a different version of these existing
No, I think Hyderabad is moving towards high-rise living. Not because there is, in spite of having higher land availability, it's about being in the west, being around the the IT segment, because most of them are into IT.
Yes.
It is A for network, B for close proximities to hospital and the schools. See, that lifestyle, upscale lifestyle, people are just getting used to. If you see other metropolitans like Mumbai, Bangalore, it has become a common thing. Now guys are starting to learn from there. So I would see both sides increase. There are villas away from city, and one high rise is like a downtown. If you see outside, we're starting to have a downtown of Gachibowli, especially focused on high rises. And this is the crowd coming from Jubilee Hills, people who are not satisfied with the current services or pollution there. I have friends from Secunderabad, LB Nagar. They're all moving towards high rise zone just to have the experience of it, and the maintenance has become very tough. Now the availability of labor or help staff has become very tough in Hyderabad. That's one factor why people are moving towards high rises, where there is less maintenance. It's just their surround home which they have to maintain, and the rest of the amenities are taken care by the project maintenance team. So I think most probably will be divided among having farmhouse type away from city crowd, which is one side, where they'll have large townships outside with commercial spaces within.
Right.
And second segment will be the second time buyers, third time buyers, people who upgrade to a very high rise. This passion will stay for a while, according to me.
as an investment, what is better? A villa kind of a setup or a high-rise?
So both are good. If you ask me, both are good. It's a personal choice.
Right.
With me as a builder, I'd want to stay close to the city, to know, to have access to everywhere, every part of the city, where there is less time to spend on things.
Yeah.
But if you are a passionate man, if you want to have your own landscape, garden and everything, villas are your choice. End of the day, villa is having about your own plot. Apartment is a shared, undivided share of land. This disparity or this, difference will stay. I mean, all my childhood went in apartments, so I'm used to apartments.
Right.
But if they are used to villas, they'll get into villas only.
So what about Radhe Constructions? Is it going to specialize in one kind of project going ahead? Let's say 10 years for you.
No, 10 years from now, I think we have a lot of verticals which we are concentrating on. Now we want to get into commercial segment. We want to start our own RMCs and tile factories, vertically integrate, so that we can get down the cost of construction. Then get give it to the customers at a better rate. This is where we'll be concentrating in the next 10 years. I mean, after all, we've seen all the 10 years of establishment. Now is when we want to take it easy and then silently move on to booming markets. So Hyderabad was booming, will be booming for the next 10 years, will be the year. We're looking at Mumbai, Bangalore as our potential cities to be, and we land acquired also. Silently we'll be launching a couple of projects in Bangalore and Mumbai parallelly. And there's the one option in Dubai we are exploring sincerely on. We'd want for the, to stay with the trends.
Right.
There's one project we are working on with Dubai-based consultants. I think that will be there in the next 5 years.
Okay. What about Radhe personally? Will he be getting into politics at some point?
See, again, politics is a very big thing. It's a calling. My dad has gotten into politics because he's seen the chain of, people right from poverty to, up till the point he's been an IRS officer. So he's known the society better. So it's become natural to him. There's no preparation. And whatever he speaks, whatever he does is making sense because he knows the gap.
Right.
He knows the requirement. For us, there is still time to experience all that. Otherwise, we'll not be contributing much.
Right.
I think it's a calling. I don't know what future has, but let's see if I can gather the exposure. Probably I'd like to be there.
Okay. Is there something else that Radhe would be doing, if not construction or politics later in the future?
No, I think we will stay focused in construction segment. There's a lot to do.
Right.
We'd want to expand slowly, but definitely have all the verticals live. Let's see how it will pan out.
Is there a person that you see as a mentor or you see as somebody who's influenced the way you're thinking or the business values that you have?
I think it's all my dad only. I have nobody else. In construction, yes, there are a couple of brands which I envision and try to follow their styles. But personally, it's my father. His ideology has been the way forward for us. I'm very amused. He's seen all types of jobs. He's been a student. He's been a government servant. He's been a businessman. He's been a politician. I think he's destined to be something big. Probably his ideology should lead us ahead.
One.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking your time out today and spending this time with us.
Yeah.
And we look forward to being part of your journey. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah.
And we wish you the very, very best in your time in corporate connections and also building Radhe Constructions as definitely a brand that has to be reckoned with. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I think CC particularly has a big part. I've been vocal about it for a while. I mean, in every meeting I have. My first real interview or any public appearance happened in this group.
Yeah.
And from then I got to know how this can be utilized. So it's only helping my business ahead.
Really?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Right.